Back. All right. Uh, yeah. Like I said, this is the voice of Dominican boxing. I'm here. I'm about to be joined shortly by the manager of Elvis Rodriguez, Benjamin Lieblein. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he'll be on. He'll let me know how to pronounce his last name. I have a lot of good questions, a lot of interesting questions, a lot going on in the sport of boxing, and there's been rumors about Top Rank and how they behave and stuff like that. And he's somebody who's dealt with Top Rank uh, personally, and I want to know his perspective. I want to know what is it? How was it him dealing with Top Rank, as well as what is the future for Elvis Rodriguez? Elvis Rodriguez is one of the hottest prospect in my eyes. In my eyes, in terms of the prospects coming up, who do I think has a really good chance at being successful? He is one of them, and he happens to be Dominican. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Hold on one second. He's having trouble logging in. Oh, there we go. I got him. All right. He's on now. So let me add him to the stream. Benny, what's up, my brother? You're muted right now. So I don't know if you want to unmute your mic. Yeah, I hear you now, man. How you doing, my brother?
All right, bro. What's going on, man?
Everything's good. First, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on and taking time out your day to give me the interview, man. I really,
Oh
really.
no, for sure. I know we've been trying to get this, on for a little while.
Yeah, we've been trying to get it on, but it, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened due to scheduling circumstances. But we here. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
man.
like,
So,
I know you're gonna ask all the questions. So
yeah, you if you watch my channel before, you know how I ask my questions. I like to get into details, but before we get into all that, I kind of want to get into who your story a little bit, just to give the people a feel as to who you are. So you're Dominican, right?
yeah, I'm Dominican.
So you were born in New York, but you're Dominican, right?
I was born in New York, born and raised in New York, and my family's Dominican.
Yeah, and from my research, you're from the Bronx, right?
No. I'm from the city. I started out in Queens. I
Okay.
started out in Queens, and I moved to the city. I spent I've been around a lot. I've been everywhere, bro.
Yeah, no, because had seen a video where you going BX all day, but I guess you were managing a couple fighters from the Bronx.
I had a dude from the BX, yeah.
Yeah. No, and you had a couple prospects. You had like 4 or 5 guys that you promoted, managed, correct?
I think more than that.
Really? That's interesting.
I worked with a lot of guys. I worked with Joan Guzman. I worked with Joselito Guzman. I worked with but not all his managers. It's different, advisors at some point and whatever it was.
Okay.
Helping people out, with some bread.
That's dope. How'd you get interested in the sport of boxing, just in general as a fan? How'd you get interested?
It was actually, and I've always loved boxing, always since a little kid. And then I was never allowed to. And in high school, I think there was a kid in my school who started boxing. So then I kind of like snuck out and started boxing. And like I got okay, I was doing all right. And then I got kicked out of my school. I was playing football. And then I just picked it up and I was doing it. And I actually had like these dreams of going pro, and then that was like a pipe dream, bro.
You ever had any amateur fights?
Yeah, I had, what was it, 17, 18?
Okay, so you actually like 17, 18 fights. That's actually a good amount. So you actually did, participate. Okay. And how'd you get into the business of boxing? Because we know the business of boxing is a bit wild. Getting in is easy, but it's hard to navigate. How'd you get into it?
So actually, like me and my brother, Penthouse, Penthouse P, I don't know if you ever heard of him. We were just always together, and at the time he was actually really into UFC, like MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a dude who I kind of grew up with, Francisco Palacio.
Okay.
And he was looking for help, And I used to tell my brother, I'm like, yo, we should do this. We should get into this. And he's like, nah, MMA is that new wave. MMA is the new wave. And then I'm like, bro, don't sleep on boxing. Like, turn this fight on. Forget about that MMA thing. And it was, I want to say one of the like Marquez Vasquez fights, or one of those fights.
Oh, like
I think it was like the first one, or I can't remember, or
war.
maybe it was Corrales Castillo.
Oh.
And he was like, wait a minute, bro. Like, we're doing this, yo.
I get it. And there's more money in boxing. As far as for managers specifically, there's way more money in boxing. So I feel like that's definitely the right decision. How did you find Elvis Rodriguez? Elvis Rodriguez, to me, I'm Dominican, so I'm hip to the Dominican boxing scene. But how did you find him as a prospect?
Honestly, I was a rat. I was always just like studying, and then just like one of those, they call like gym rats. Like I was just always studying like all the tapes and all the amateur guys and all the lists, and I was always on who was ranked and watching videos on them. And then I came across one of his videos, and I was like, yo, I like this kid, bro. Like this kid's that dude. And he went to he had a tournament in TJ in Tijuana.
Okay.
So I went down there to meet him, and I contacted him, and we went from there.
Okay. So you were living in LA at that time, so it was a quick
at the
trip
time
for
I was living in Beverly Hills.
Okay, so it was a quick trip for you from there to TJ.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why'd you choose Top Rank as a promotional company for Elvis?
To be honest, I didn't.
Okay.
I flew him in. It was I had a kid fighting on a Ryan Garcia card when they were fighting in that in California, that whatever, and I flew him into there. And originally I had planned to meet up with these guys, sit down and sign them with Golden Boy. That was like what, and then I guess the whole Dominican thing and whatever it was, and there just wasn't so much interest. So I was like, all right, I brought him to LA to train with Freddie. I got him a fight in TJ, and I was contacting people on that. Freddie called some people from Top Rank who was like, yo, listen, this kid is like a beast. Come through, check him out. If you don't like him, cool, or give him a shot. So they gave him a shot on one of his cards, which is another fucking story. But he looked spectacular.
Let's get into that story. What happened with him getting on that card?
Oh, man, bro. So we got on the card. We were set up to fight as we were gonna be a televised fight, and not a televised fight. It was a
like the ESPN Plus.
No. It was right. It was on ESPN, but it was the I forgot what the fucking call the fights right now. But they were gonna if one of the fights ended quick, we were gonna get on TV.
Oh, that's the swing bout.
The swing bout. We were swing bout. So we were the first swing bout.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So they come in. They had given us, I can't remember, it was 4 or 6 rounds, and we're in there. We're getting warmed up. And somebody says to me, "Yo, these dudes are over there really talking to Robert and this other guy real hard, bro." Like,
who's Robert?
Robert Garcia.
Okay.
He had a kid. He had the next swing bout or the third swing bout. There was like 3 swing bouts. It was on a Lomachenko card, and they were like, "Yo, I think they're gonna like end up trying to move us, bro." And I'm like, nah, bro. Like they put us. So whatever happened, they end up. That's exactly what they do. Like last minute, they come in.
Bumped you.
They bumped us. They put the other kid on. The other kid looked like shit, and then we looked spectacular at the end. But we weren't on TV.
That's crazy. My father had a similar situation with a card in Puerto Rico where he had a fighter with the swing bout, and they're like, "All right, you're next." So the guy warmed up. all warmed up, ready.
That was us.
Because you want to build up a nice, good sweat before you get in the ring. And then right when, all right, boom, the fight ends in a second round knockout, the fight right before his. They tell him, oh, that fight ended too quick. We're gonna skip you. So then he had to wait there. He got cold,
no,
had to warm up again.
That's not what happened. They changed the whole shit. They did it just because, for whatever reason, they did what they did for whatever reason they did it. I can't even look into it, but it was a. Go ahead.
How did you think Top Rank did it? How would you grade their job promoting Elvis? Because I felt like they were putting him in good position on all those ESPN fights in the bubble, and he was fighting often, and he was fighting on TV. What did you think about their job as far as what they did?
I can't really look. I can't knock the good work they did. They gave him a lot of fights. I think there's more to it than just that, but they gave him a lot of fights. Well, ultimately what happened was, look, COVID happened. When COVID happened, a lot of people stopped training and everybody was going home. And I said, Elvis was going to go home. And I was like, yo, listen, I know people, bro. And people always look for a reason not to work, yo. So you just gave the whole world a reason to stay home and do nothing. So all of these fighters are going to be doing nothing. When that phone call comes, and it's going to come, they're going to have no choice but to put you on because you're going to be the only one that's ready.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
And man, let me tell you that's great advice that you gave him because, he was looking absolutely spectacular, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was knocking. I remember he knocked the dude out with a jab. He was looking straight, like a straight beast.
Yeah.
So that's definitely great advice. His hard work in the gym definitely showed out in the ring. So I want to talk about his loss to Kenneth Sims. So the rumors are the reason he got released, obviously he lost, but the reason he lost that he got released was because Top Rank was trying to tell you, listen, he's not ready for Kenneth Sims. That's too big of a step up. And hold on, these are the rumors, and that you push back saying no, he's ready. So then once he took the loss, it was like, you see, told he wasn't ready, and they cut him. That's the rumors, and that's why I have you on to clarify.
Bro, they were trying to give me Kenneth Sims for months, bro. They offered me Kenneth Sims months before that. Forget about that. And I was always like, yo, look. When we got with them, when we signed with them, it was kind of they let us know, look, you're Dominican, you don't have a market, you don't sell, so you don't get to be choosy, yo. It is what it is, yo.
Whoa. They told you that?
Yo, just like that, bro. And they were like, yo, when he was moving and when he was moving and we were doing whatever we were doing, they would be like, yo, and it's not, I can't speak for everyone there. So I don't like saying Top Rank, right? Because that's a big company. And there's a lot of great people there, bro. Right? So it was just the person I was dealing with. Right? And then it became, you got to keep them in line because, when Dominicans get money, they don't know how to act. And if they get $100,000, it's like $1 million to them. And then they stop training, they stop doing everything, and and I'm like, yo, bro, cool, yo. This kid ain't like that, yo. I don't know what to tell you. You got to take everybody as an individual, yo.
Yeah.
Right. So that was really what that was, yo. The Kenny Sims, I didn't, bro. Why they offered me that fight? I didn't choose him. And you can't tell me, look, fuck. All right. The problem ain't start with me, bro. The problem ain't never start with me. The problem started with one of their matchmakers and a member of my team, yo, of our team, yo. It was like a personal beef with them, bro.
Okay.
Right? And then, so the first year was pretty good. Everything was going all right. Then COVID happened and it was kind of things got real difficult, bro. And I get, nobody really knew what to do and how to do it. We couldn't get our team in. We couldn't get anybody in. And I understand that, nobody really know how to navigate this situation.
Yeah, because it's a new situation.
Yeah. But, I didn't go to, I think, one or two of the fights. Our strength and conditioning coach didn't go to none of the fights. And that was another thing, like getting my entire team to the fight seemed to always be an issue. And I would offer to pay, I would offer to help out, whatever it was. So,
weird.
Like I kind of felt like, so they kind of treat people like you're lucky to be with us, you're blessed to be with us, right? But I think that like it became a little bit more hostile whenever that situation happened with whoever it was. It became like much more difficult.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure is this person you're talking about, but I want to read to you a conversation I had on Twitter with Bruce Trampler. So this is after Elvis Rodriguez knockout on the Canelo undercard when he fought what was his name, the Mexican Olympian, forget his name, but whatever. He had tweeted, better than another loss. We like Elvis, good kid, love Freddie Roach and Cutman, all the crew at Wildcard. So I tweeted to him, did you guys regret cutting him after this impressive one-punch knockout? And he said, not at all. Like the kid, didn't care for the manager, glad to cut him. So I then responded.
He also called him trash in another tweet, but okay.
Oh, see, that's I definitely want to find that tweet. I'm definitely gonna look for that. He also said, so I responded, so personal reasons with the manager was the main reason he was released. He goes, nothing in boxing is personal, it's all business. It's like, what is your response to that? Him saying that he liked the kid but didn't care for the manager, aka you. Like, what is your response to that?
He has said three different things, right? First it came that the kid isn't as good as we thought he was. It didn't work out. Then it was eventually it ended up becoming an issue with me, right? But like bro, I don't know, like.
But my thing, how does a manager and a matchmaker clash if it's not between choosing?
Bro, how do you clash when I take every fight you give me, bro?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I remember the fight before that, you took on the Argentinian guy who just fought Verone, who is a tough guy. You know, I'm not. Is he the world beater? No, but
I'm gonna tell you. So I'm gonna go. Look, that shit happened, right? And I felt like, yo, this is kind of like whatever happened. It was kind of weird. Like dealing with them became kind of difficult. Then there was a fight with Cameron Crea. That's when I kind of was just like, all right, something's up, yo. We weren't supposed to fight Cameron Crea, and actually they offered us Kenneth Sims for that fight.
Really? Because wasn't Cameron Crea on short notice? Didn't?
Yeah. So Cameron Crea, they had tried to get a different fighter for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said that, and everybody's turning them down, blah blah blah, and then like, in a real like, he was like, look, the only guy that'll fight you is Cameron Crea. Take the fight, or if you want, you can take the fight. If not, we'll get you on another card at some point, like that. So I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, all right, yo, we'll fight Cameron Crea. They were like, what? I was like, yeah, we'll fight Cameron Crea. They was like, yo, are you sure, yo? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yo, bro, you got balls, bro. And I'm like, yo, so you want me to fight or you don't want me to fight? Which one is it, yo?
That is,
you know what I'm saying? So it seemed like they were trying to put guys in front of me, in front of Elvis, for me to turn down, and it was just like, yo, that's weird. So
it is weird.
That's when it like kind of like, I'm like, yo, this is like something's up, you know. So then they had put us on the Crawford card. Again, same thing happened. Things fell off, and then they put us on that December card, right? So the one where he tested positive
for COVID, but then I saw his Instagram. He tested negative when he was back home.
Bro, I can't tell you for sure that like this is the deal, right? So like this is my opinion. Like I can tell you facts on everything else, and if I tell you something, like if it's a fact, I'm gonna let you know, yo, this is a fact. This is how it happened. This is what happened. You can bet on that. Yeah. This is my opinion of what happened in that fight. I can't tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt. We all go in. So leading up to that fight, we were offered Verón.
Yeah,
the Argentinian kid. He was supposed to fight us in December. Yeah. And in December, bro, you put anybody in front of Elvis at that day, on that card, and they were going out, bro. Because Elvis was like killing dudes in sparring. I mean, like annihilating dudes, bro.
Okay.
So we were supposed to fight Beron. Beron supposedly tested positive for COVID and couldn't come through. So, you know, I already had like a certain like feel from the Cameron Creole fight, and then we got pushed off the Crawford card, and we were in talks for Prospect of the Year. And I know that like it wasn't in their best interest nor their desire for us to be Prospect of the Year, because they're trying to get that Puerto Rican wave. And what good is it if you have a kid who you feel don't sell and you don't have a market for him? How does making him Prospect of the Year help you?
So you think, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So you think they purposely, this is the opinion, not straight fact, didn't, you know, created some fake
So
COVID
I'm gonna go into this right now. So Beron tested positive, right? Supposedly.
Yeah.
So on that, like, yo, look, you're not gonna be able to fight, blah blah, this and the third. So I'm like, nah, like at that point, like, yo, I'll put up bread and I'm gonna find somebody because I want this Prospect of the Year, because I know what that means for him. I know what that means for his career. I know what that means for people in general.
Mm-hmm.
So then I start calling around. On one of them, I call Veron's manager because he had other guys, right? And I was like, yo, listen, I know this kid fucking, you know, sick. Yeah. And he was like, got sick. What you talking about, yo? I was like, yeah, he got COVID, right? And then he was like, oh, well, I'm not sure. I'm like, yo, what you mean you're not sure? So on that one, I speak to these guys, call me up and they're like, yo, did you speak to this guy's manager? I was like, yeah. You know, I wanted to see if they had other guys. Yo, you know, well, he wasn't involved in negotiations, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay. Then homie calls me and he's like, oh yeah, he tested positive. And I'm like, bro, something's up right now, bro.
Yeah.
So then
yeah,
I end up getting like a list of guys who are willing to fight Elvis. And at this point, like, I'm willing to put up bread, bro. You know, I don't care because I need this like Prospect of the Year. And if he fights December, he wins Prospect of the Year, bro.
Yeah, and for the people watching, in contact, Elvis was pretty much in competition with Edgar Berlanga, who was scoring first-round knockouts, who's a Puerto Rican ticket seller.
Yeah, but he only fought, I think, 2 or 3 times, bro. And we fought 5, and that was going to be our 6th fight.
No, I know.
Right? So it would have been impossible for you to give him Prospect of the Year if he fights and knocks somebody out again, bro. So I had like a list of guys that were ready to take the fight, and then they kind of like found this Larry Fryers guy.
Okay.
I was like, okay. We go over there. Everybody tests negative. We do everything. We do the and out of nowhere they're like, yo, we need to talk to you, blah blah. I'm like, all right. Elvis tested positive for COVID. How everyone tested negative, but Elvis tested positive? He don't got no fucking COVID, bro. No, you know, he tested positive. I said, all right, yo, let's get, you know, could we retest or whatever? They're like, yo, even you can't retest because we can't give you the test again because you can't fight even if he tests negative. So I'm like, all right, yo, never show me the negative, never show me the positive result. So on that one, I'm like, yo, listen, do me a favor. Like, they're telling me I have to drive back. So I'm like, yo, instead of driving back, yo, let me test again. I'm going to hop on this plane and get up out of here. Yo, but we already told you if he tests again. So they were like fighting me to test again there, bro. And like that didn't sit well with me, yo. And as soon as I arrived to LA, he got tested negative, bro. And he got tested 3 times, bro.
So you 3 times after, you're saying? After
he got tested as soon as we got to LA, and then 2 more times.
Wow.
And all of them came out negative, bro.
So when did this suspicion arise as far as Elvis being positive? Was it when you were asking for a retest, or was it when you landed? When was it that you felt like, wait a minute? And did he feel suspicious as well? And
so he had been feeling a certain way because, you know, he would get, when he signs for his when you were at the thing, you sign for your check, and they give you a paper that you have to sign for, and you can see what everybody else is getting paid, and all these guys are getting paid like crazy amounts more than him, including his opponents, bro. And
his
the story was
getting paid more than him,
bro, double and triple, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. Let's check. I would love to find out what this guy got paid for Verón.
The last guy who just fought.
I would love to know what he got paid. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that out as you.
So he was kind of feeling a certain way. Then he kind of saw like the way. Oh, at the Cameron Creel fight, and I think it was the fight before. It was the Cameron Creel fight. I had tried to get. I had gone to the previous fight. I had seen people there with their teams and stuff. I'm like, yo, listen, I can bring my strength and conditioning coach. I can bring people like, yo, let me bring my strength and conditioning coach. That's it. Yo, we get to the Cameron Creel fight, and bro, we couldn't bring the strength and conditioning coach, bro. Like, they wouldn't let us bring it. They wouldn't let, we got to that fight. Yo, people had strength and conditioning coach, secondary coaches, cousins there, videographers, bro. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening right now, bro? I can't bring this one guy. You got a videographer running around the bubble?
Yeah, no, that does seem wild.
Right, so that was like all of that stuff kind of like played into it, yo.
Yeah.
And Elvis noticed a lot of it, but Elvis was like, yo, look, I'm gonna just keep fighting and keep training and doing what I got to do.
Yeah.
So when, go ahead.
No, go ahead. My bad. I keep thinking you're done. Yeah.
So when whatever happened, like, it was what it was. You got to roll with the punches. Like, I get the business move of it, right? Like, I get the upside of Berlanga and the Puerto Ricans and like trying to get that. So I get that. I can't be mad at that. Do I think Elvis was the prospect of the year that year? Sure, but that's my opinion. I think he would have solidified it had he fought that fight, but it was what it was. It's cool, yo. So then it's like, yo, go home. He had a great year. He fought a lot or whatever it was. Go home and bring him back, let him rest, let him have, Christmas and his birthday, and then bring him back, and then we'll schedule something. I bet. He goes to DR. He's in DR, he's chilling, eating well and whatever it is. And then I get a call, yo, you're gonna fight February against Luis Verón. I'm like, bro, but this dude's in DR now, yo. Like, this dude now is like three weeks, whatever. Like,
you just told him to go enjoy Christmas.
Right. So like I end up getting him back, like, I think a day or two after. I think like a day before his birthday. I think that like the 13th or the 12th or something like that, January. So we're fighting in February, and he hasn't been in camp, yo. So now he's overweight, and not crazy because he doesn't go crazy.
He doesn't blow up, car.
Right. But like, he needs to get back in shape, and like putting him in the toughest fight with 5 weeks to get ready. We didn't really start training until maybe the 17th, something like that. Because
and the fight was February what? Do you remember what exact date?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Yeah, I can find out. But you can continue with your story.
So, all right. So he didn't really like. I saw him in camp. Like, December, Elvis beats anybody in 140 pounds, bro. Anybody, bro. But that December fight, that February fight, we had like a short camp, like maybe a 5-week camp. All right. We take the fight. I know he wasn't in the best shape, but it was what it was. And he looked good, bro. Yeah. He looked good, yo.
I thought Verón definitely gave him problems, but I felt like that was his first pretty big step up, and I wasn't aware of the short training camp, so
yeah,
it definitely is impressive. It was by the way, it was the 20th of February. So if you say he started around January 17th, he had about a month of training, about 4 weeks of training, which
right,
a full training camp is really 8 weeks. So
right,
so he basically had half a training camp to fight pretty much his first step up in competition, if we're being honest, and it was right. the fight that gone to decision, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
because the other draw was due to a head clash, so that was the first fight that ever really went to decision, and with that context that he had a short training camp, puts everything in perspective.
So, in the meantime, so before, he spent that whole year in camp, COVID, year round, and we do year round camps. We're not like, he had gotten like a little girlfriend, right, in New York. He hadn't seen her in a year, so he went in December. So after the fight, because we cut off his, we cut his vacation, his trip off short. He was like, "Yo, listen, is it okay if I go back to DR and spend some more time with my family and spend some time with my girl? I haven't really seen her." I'm like, all right, let me ask. So I talked to them. They're like, yeah, send him home. He's all good, yo. Whatever it is. Again, send him back. He goes to DR. He goes to a thing with this girl. And in DR, he had gotten sick before that fight. He gets sick like every training camp. That's why I like him in like 10-week camps.
Okay, that's strange. But he has like a weak immune system. We gotta give him some vitamins.
I don't know. He always gets like a cold, bro. Like a really bad cold. Like, and so for that, I remember that fight he got sick. So then he's in DR. He's in DR with these people, and I get the call again. Yo, listen, you're gonna fight on this day with
Verone.
After Verone, he went to DR. He's back in DR, whatever. And then I get a call. I forgot when it was that we're gonna fight Kenny Sims. So here we go again. He comes back. And like something's a little off with Elvis.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? And so we're in camp. He gets mad sick again, bro. Like this time he's down for like a week, bro. Like I think he was there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then this time he's down for like a week. But like but aside from him getting sick, he even got me sick. But aside from him being sick, like I saw like something was up with him, bro. Something was up with him. Like a month before the fight. No, let me say not. I don't know if it was like a month or like maybe like 2.5 weeks before the fight. I got a call from his pops. And I'm like, listen, did you talk to Elvis about what's going on? I'm like, nah, he ain't tell me nothing, bro. I need you to talk to him, bro. He needs to be, he needs to tell you what's up and what's going on. So I'm like, all right, yo. So I sit down, I start talking to him. He's like real, I can see he's like emotional. He's not an emotional kid, but I see he's kind of like emotional. He's like, yo, he got this girl pregnant, bro. I'm like, the fuck do you mean you got this girl pregnant, bro? Like, you don't even know this girl, bro. You seen her like 3 times, bro. Yeah, listen, but I have warned him, bro. I'm like, yo, don't get her pregnant. And like, there's a whole crazy thing behind that. Like, it was more than just like, but so, we dealing with that. I can see he's mentally kind of like not really there. And even, Freddie's telling me like, yo, like, is he all right, yo? I'm like, yo, he'll be all right, yo. He'll be all right, yo. Then I remember getting, and I hate this human being, bro. I remember getting to Vegas for the fight. And the second day in Vegas, this chick had like told him that she had lost a baby, yo. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing right now, bro? What are you doing? Like, you really think this a game, bro? And I'm just like, yo, I got Elvis focused. I tried, and he did what he did it the best he could. I actually thought he won the fight.
Really? Nah, I gotta rewatch that fight, and maybe I'll have you on. I don't know if you know, I have a show called The Official Scorecard on the same YouTube channel where we rewatch fights and we rescore them. I thought he lost, but I don't think he got his ass whooped like how like I
thought he lost 7 and 8, and 5 could have gone either way. I thought he won 1 through 4 and 6. The punch stats ultimately, like a lot of what people don't understand, I think that like announcers have a big impact.
Yeah.
And like if you listen to go to round 3 and round 4 when Elvis lands some big punches, bro, and listen to what the announcer's reaction, right? Like you'll see it, and then like
I'll check it out.
They would be like, oh, Kenny Sims had a good round, and the punch stats will come out. Be like, all right, Elvis outlanded him, but Kenny Sims had a good round. I'm like, yo, wait, but so how does this work, yo? He landed the bigger punches and more punches, but he lost a round.
Yeah, I mean, I off of memory, and I guess maybe you're right. Maybe the announcers did influence me. Off of memory, I remember thinking Kenneth Sims.
I don't think I think they were close rounds.
You thought it was a close fight that could have gone either way.
I thought it was. I was confident enough to feel like we won, but worried enough to feel like we may have just gotten a draw. I didn't think that we lost, bro.
It was a majority decision, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it was a majority decision.
So the judges saw it like how you saw it.
So punch stats favored Elvis, and he landed more punches. He landed the harder punches. So I don't see like, and when you break it up per round, most of the rounds, except I think 3 of the rounds, like he outlanded Kenny. But I thought Kenny had a great fight on Elvis's worst night, yo.
Yeah. Listen, I said it on the Boxing Voice. People want to give Elvis a hard time for taking that loss, but like I feel like people aren't giving Kenneth Sims his credit. That's a tough fighter, man. And when you guys took the fight, I was familiar with Kenneth Sims through the amateur program. I was surprised. Yeah. I was like, wow, they matching him tough. I was excited for the fight because I knew Kenneth Sims.
I didn't ask for the fight. That's who they gave me. And you can't tell me, yo, essentially you telling me beggars can't be choosers. So we can't fucking, ask not, to skip guys over. Then you present this guy to me. What am I supposed to say? No, you just told me I can't say no.
So it's a weird way of doing business. Were you surprised when they released him?
Honestly, so it's tough. Part of me was, because I think that Elvis had built enough name and had done enough where it was like, all right,
small setback, yeah,
right, like yo, like this dude could fight, bro. Like there's no question at this point. Like Elvis could fight, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So I felt like, that fight was close enough that, if I think it would have swung, whatever it was a close fight. He ain't get waxed, he ain't get dropped, he ain't get hurt, he ain't, so I was kind of like, but at the same time, I also knew that Elvis was actually less surprised than I was.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He said
Elvis felt like Elvis the whole time. He felt like, and they treated us like second-class citizens, bro. No matter what he did, no matter how many followers he got, no matter how much people were talking about him, they always just treated us like second-class citizens, yo. It's tough when you can't bring your entire team and other guys have family, friends, and videographers at fights, bro.
That's pretty crazy.
Right, you're sending a clear message at that point, bro.
Yeah. It's interesting. Was anything ever said to Elvis directly, or was everything kind of communicated through you, where to communicate to him? Because you saying he didn't feel comfortable. He's saying he felt like a second-class citizen.
No, nothing was ever said to Elvis directly, and nothing. And I hid Elvis. I didn't tell Elvis whatever was going on behind the scenes, but he felt it. He felt it in the way they were paying him, and the way they were treating him, and the way they would treat his team. Like it was kind of like, yo, what's happening right now, bro?
Yeah.
Like there was a point there where it was like, yo, why am I getting like this ridiculous pay right now, bro? Like,
can you mention how much he was getting paid for the Cameron Creole fight? I
think he made $8,500 for Cameron Creole and $25,000 for Kenneth Sims.
$25,000 for Kenneth Sims?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me I need to rewind a little bit. So when I had come back from when
from the bubble?
Elvis came back from DR, for the Luis Barón fight because of, his name was buzzing, bro, and he was like, like in talks of prospect of the year, and he was fighting so often. What happened was Elvis spars like he fights, bro. So like if you're gonna spar him, just know, yo, you in for a tough one, bro. And not everybody's like that, bro.
Yeah, that's true. In New York, it's not that's not the way we spar. I know in the West Coast, you guys spar hard.
Yo, it's crazy, bro. And he be put every single camp he put somebody out, bro.
Knocked out?
He's knocked guys out. He's dropped. He sent guys to hospitals twice, bro.
Yo, that's
twice, bro.
He wouldn't be able to get sparring in New York if he did
that. So with all of that, and it was like when we came back from DR for the Luis Barón fight, it was like, I swear to God, it was like every boxer in LA had gotten together and been like, and was like, yo, we ain't sparring him unless he's paying, bro. And I was like, wait a minute. And these guys were asking a lot, yo. So at that point I was like, yo, listen, I need y'all to, like, I understand that, we're building a kid and whatever it is. So if you can make it up somewhat in his pay, then at least
pay for the
help me out with training camp, right? And bro, that, like, they were like, yeah, and then I got to run around for that, bro. And I'm like, yo, how are my monthly expenses increasing almost double, but his pay is not? Okay. Right? Like, we need to somehow, and I'm not asking you to pay for camp. I'm asking you to help me pay for sparring. That's it, bro. That's it. And I got like the runaround, and then finally I was able to I got someone on the phone who was able to make it happen. And then, like, I think guys got offended that I spoke to their bosses.
Like, you went over their head, so they felt a certain way.
But what am I supposed to sit and wait?
Yeah. It's like, no, I get it. I get what you're saying. At the end of the day, you running a business, and if it's protocol to go directly to somebody and they're not doing what you got to do, your business requires you, in your best interest, to go over his head and get it done. And you did get it done.
Right. And you telling me, first of all, that you need to go to this person anyway. So something, let me go to that person, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, bro, it was what it was. They got us released. I didn't say nothing. Elvis didn't say nothing. We kept it quiet. And then they just started with the fucking.
Yeah, I saw Carl Moretti. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read his quote exactly, because I don't want to be like, oh, I misquoted. I shouldn't have said. That's not exactly what I said. So I'm gonna read his quote exactly, and I'm gonna screen share for you guys following at home, so you guys can see that I'm actually reading it, not making it up. So this is what Carl Moretti had to say, which is straight bullshit, but I'll read it anyways. He goes, "It didn't work out between us and his team. We thought he was consistently inconsistent in a very deep division. But in the end, we wish him and his team nothing but success as he moves forward." Like,
consistently inconsistent, but the problem was the manager. Which one is it, right? You can't fall on both sides of the tracks here, bro.
Yeah, it's that. First of all, that's a clown comment. And no disrespect to Carl Moretti. I'm not saying
he's a good dude. Like, I actually like him. Like, he's actually all right, yo. Like, I don't have no problems with him.
No. I just want to make it clear. I'm not calling him a clown, but that's a clown comment. Consistently inconsistent. When he fought Verone, I don't think he looked his best, but he got the win nonetheless.
Yeah, but you gave us like 4 or 5 weeks to get ready, yo.
And then, see, that's something I'm not privy to, but he's privy to. And then on top of that, he loses to Kenneth Sims he didn't get blown out, but I thought he lost. And I think Kenneth Sims is a good fighter, where losing to him shouldn't release you. How is he consistently inconsistent? And to prove to me and the world that he is a good fighter, his next 2 performances, he looks spectacular. And I'm almost upset at how the media and particularly boxing Twitter, because listen, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. I know you follow me. I know you aware of me. So when I'm on Twitter, I'm arguing for Elvis. I'm doing all of that. And what people always tend to do is bring up the Kenneth Sims fight. And what I tell them is, all right, you bringing up the Kenneth Sims fight, but what about the 2 fights after? Why
let me just
like worst moment,
bro. You can't say that the problem with boxing is nobody wants to fight, and then the second they fight and lose, you throw them in the garbage, bro.
I totally agree.
Like you can, that's you being a hypocrite then, bro. Like you want everybody to take risks, you want everybody to get out there, you want everybody to put on good fights, which is what we want to and are willing to do. We have never said no, bro. Never, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That brings me to my next question. So since people always bring up that loss, and I try to bring up his last 2 performances, particularly the one against the undefeated Mexican who was also an Olympian. So I always bring that up. I'm like,
shout out to Robert Diaz, bro. I like Robert Diaz. Like he really gave me and Elvis, and even though we're not with Golden Boy, he gave us so much props and credit and love for that win.
For that win. No, and it's a win that I feel is very glossed over. But since people keep focusing on that loss of Kenneth Sims and kind of don't let to see him, bounce back from that, when can we get a rematch? Because I feel like that would erase, the blemish on his record.
But it won't. It won't. Let's be honest.
No, I think he
could knock out Kenneth Sims in 30 seconds, and you're still gonna have people. Oh well, he should have lost anyway. Bro.
No, I don't think
I'm gonna put it out there for you. And at this point, like this is when I kind of like when that happened, and I saw how they acted and whatever. I took the reins, and I know Elvis really wants that fight. Right, and I actually tried to get that fight, but I needed it to mean something, right? Like I wanted it to be. Either a title eliminator, I needed to get paid, and like it wasn't making sense, for me. And I get that Elvis won, but like, I'm not in this for moral victories at this point. Clearly, like nobody respects him being willing to get in there with anybody with 11 fights, 10 fights. Look at Cameron Creal. Like look at that fight, bro. Who did that to Cameron Creal ever?
No. I listen. I agree, but getting back to the point that him rematching and beating Kenneth Sims wouldn't mean nothing. The reason I disagree with that is because Subriel Matias, he took a L to.
I'll talk that. Go ahead.
He took a L, but he got his win back and got a win back by stoppage. You know what I'm saying? So
this is what I tell Elvis. This is what I tell people, and this is what I'm gonna tell you, bro. If it ever makes sense, if they pay him a certain amount, and when I'm not talking about a crazy amount.
Yeah, you're just saying the money got to be right.
Right, and if they make it for like some sort of eliminator, we do it 100%, bro. But here's what I will promise you and the fans and even Kenny Sims, bro. We get a title, bro. He's gonna defend that title against Kenny Sims.
I like that energy. By the way, you
like I'm not
for whatever reason. Yeah.
So what? My bad. It's like we're gonna defend that title against Kenny Sims, bro. I know Kenny deserves it, bro. Like if we got the title, bro, Kenny deserves that shot. Like he's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. I don't like what they did with Barbosa on that, and that kind of showed me where the energy from Andre or from, let's say the ESPN telecast was coming from, like, because they did the same thing with us when Elvis fought. It was kind of like, yo, why are we riding? Why is Kenny sounding like the A side right now, bro?
That's strange.
And then in that Barbosa fight, I don't see how you like. Why would you do that? Like the talk, it was a good fight. It was a great matchup. I thought it was a very interesting fight. And then like the talk after the fight was, oh, why he ducked Kenny Sims? Why he ducked Kenny Sims? Yeah. And I'm like, yo, why would you bring that up in the middle of the fight, yo, and take this man's shine away, bro?
I see what you're saying. You brought up title eliminators with Elvis Rodriguez. He's not ranked in none of the sanction bodies, which I don't understand, to be honest, because I look at some of these names and I'm like how can we get him in position to?
So we were supposed to fight the guy who's fighting Puello.
Oh, Akhmadov.
Yeah, for a title eliminator. Obviously he had a shot at the title, so he took that instead. Look, I've tried to make a few. I know the boogeyman in the division is Matias. I would love that fight for Elvis.
Yo, bro,
I would love that fight for Elvis.
I've
And
been
let me tell you something that they didn't say on ESPN, which is funny, bro. You want to say that this dude ducked Kenny? This dude ducked Kenny. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Let me sip my tea real quick. Kenny ducked Matias, bro.
Kenneth Sims ducked Subriel Matias, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Can you elaborate?
Yo, I heard that they offered that he said that he would fight anybody, and they offered him that fight. And he was like, nope.
Wow, I mean that's surprising to me. Kenneth Sims is somebody who he fought another undefeated fighter right after beating Elvis Rodriguez. So
Yo,
that
Matias
would be
is different.
surprising.
Matias a different animal, and I would love Matias. I would love Regis Prograis. I would love the Kenny Sims rematch, bro. Yo, yeah. Honestly, like, I think that, for my opinion, like, Kenny and Elvis and Matias and those guys are like the tops of the top 15, top 20 of a very loaded division,
bro. Bro, 140 is the hottest division in boxing. I'm not sure how you on my channel.
Don't tell Raleigh that he's skipping over because there's no names, bro.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of firepower, in terms of names, maybe Rolly's right. There is no big name as far as popularity,
bro.
In terms of talent, 140 is probably the most talent rich. From if you take anybody's top 15 and you match it up against the 140 pounders, I'll blindly pick 140 against any other division, any other division in boxing. Especially with these young guys coming up, prospects. I'm really excited as to what's going to happen in that division.
I love the 140 division. I would love to get in there for a title. I would love to put him in there. Like, Elvis ain't scared of nobody. And reality is, like, I was trying to kind of take I was trying to take a different road where it's kind of like an old school road where, listen, we'll fight whoever you put in front of us. It is what it is. Win, lose, or draw. Let's just get it, bro. People want to see good fights. People want to see exciting fights. Elvis has an exciting style, and we're not ducking nobody, bro.
Well, why not fight a guy like a Cletus Selden, who's ranked 9th in the WBA?
So I had they had offered me a bunch of guys. I had chosen a couple of guys that were on the list that they were paying us good money for, and I think Elvis the best name and notoriety. We got to see what happens, bro. We got to see who takes the fight.
Why they not putting Elvis in New York, man? You from New York, you Dominican. I'm from New York. I'm Dominican. You know damn well this is where a lot of us at. And that's one of the things I ain't like Top Rank was doing. I'm like, yo, bro, you got this Dominican fighter. Even if it's in the bubble, you should have put him on the undercard of Teofimo, who's from Brooklyn. Put him on the undercard of Berlanga. Put them on the same card with the same Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, we run in the same circles. Like,
Berlanga always showed us a lot of love, so he's a good dude, bro. I don't like how people have been treating him, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about his performances as of late. I don't think it's more of anything about him personally. But yeah, Berlanga, from what I've heard, he is a good dude. He just
bro, he's winning, bro. Who cares?
Yeah. But so now what's next to come for Elvis? Like,
so we gotta see
when is he gonna fight? Who's he gonna fight? What?
Like, we're happy with PBC, Louis Cuba. We're signed with Heyman directly, and Louis Cuba been, he's really something else, bro. Like, he really been treating us like, I didn't even have to ask for that. I was expecting, coming into that first fight with Romero, we have to prove ourselves, whatever, this is gonna be an upward battle, bro. And they were like, bro, they paid us great and they gave us everything we needed for training camp. And I was like, yo, what?
You're no longer second class citizen,
bro. Like, I gotta show love and respect, and Elvis is so appreciative of that, and so are we. Like, like we were just taken back by the whole like, yo, what? This is crazy, bro. Like I had to. They're giving me literally almost 10 times what these guys did for one camp, yo.
Wow. On the Canelo undercard.
Bro, they were treating us like, and and Romero, for a lot of people, Romero was the favorite going into that fight, and he was a big prospect, and everybody was high on him, and like, bro, Elvis really beat the shit out of that kid, bro.
Yeah, he looked good, man, and what upset me is like, yo, his last two fights, he's looked nothing but spectacular, and and it upsets me as a Dominican, as a boxing fan, how nobody has noticed it, and instead we're bigging up these other prospects who are undefeated. But I'm like, all right, but let's look at their last two fights compared to Elvis' last two fights,
because that's what ultimately that's what boxing has become, right? Like these guys latch on to gimmicks, right? So undefeated is a gimmick, Puerto Rican is a gimmick, Mexican is, right? Those are like built-in fan bases. So I'm gonna latch on to that and I'm gonna sell that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna sell, first round knockouts, right? And what happens is when you latch on to a gimmick like that, bro, and you don't build him outside of that in the fans' eyes, then the second that doesn't happen, everybody's kind of like, oh, he's whack, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's all you was bringing to the table, right? What I like the reality is right now, like if we honest, and my brother has said this back in the day, and like clearly he was right. UFC is blowing dudes out the water right now, bro.
I mean, in terms
they're
of
selling out everything, bro. They can't, bro. There's nothing they can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's definitely a more popular sport,
but you know
in America, but globally boxing is bigger.
He created a product, bro. Dude created a product, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna invest in all of my guys, yo. And if you look at all them UFC guys, got 1 million followers, bro. Everybody.
Yeah, but all those UFC guys aren't getting paid as much as guys who are less popular than them in boxing. I don't know how sustainable that is.
There's 5 or 10 guys who get paid more than UFC guys.
Nah, you telling me, yo, these guys getting paid one.
You gotta add.
Masvidal is a superstar, and I think he got 1.5 million in his last fight. Shakur just got 2 million for Valdez.
You gotta add up what they doing inside and outside of the ring. I think it was Paige Van Zandt who was making $1 million off of social media, bro. Right? So he's creating more than just like you're looking at it like, oh, what they get paid for the fight.
You're looking at the purse.
But at the purse, right? But they're making money outside of boxing, bro. They're making money with social media. They're making money with, with TV deals, with podcasts, because now everywhere they go, they have a following, bro. Right? So like they can make money that doesn't stop when they retire, bro. Right? And ultimately, like we gotta get as much money as we possibly can. There's only, cuatro gatos que lo están cogiendo, and then what? What we do. You need to get in that.
I mean, you could get sponsorships on your trunks. You can't do that in UFC. You just have to, whatever they sponsoring, you representing their brand. In boxing, if Presidente de Cerveza quiere poner una vaina in the trunks,
you can do it. I think that you don't really get you don't make what you really think on those sponsorships. Like, yo, these guys are making 6-7 figures on their social media, bro. Look it up. Just look up how many followers they have, and then Google what those followers mean in terms of dollar value, bro. And you'll see what they're making, bro.
I mean, when you look at their top guy, how much he gets paid, our top guy, how much boxing gets paid,
right? But you can't look at elite, right? Like because that's the top 1%.
Most of the differences usually go at the extreme. So if we look at the extreme, it's not even close. It's not even close. What Canelo and Fury make is more than what Ngannou and John Jones make, or
100%.
Or Masvidal. The only guy over there that's really fucking with those guys is Conor McGregor. He's past his prime, getting hurt. Like we don't even know where his career is going.
But the guys in between and those are the guys who are making a lot of money. Like those guys are making good money, bro.
Francis Ngannou, the heavyweight champion of the world,
So
made $600,000 in his last fight. $600,000
at the higher end. I agree. I think it's the majority, right? You have to look at the
middle
majority,
class.
right? You right. The middle. You judge a society by its middle class, not by its 1%.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
But Shakur Stevenson made $2 million in his last fight. $2 million, and Masvidal in his last fight made 1.5. And Masvidal's a way more popular fighter than Shakur Stevenson. And I know you're saying that there's things he maybe outside of the
but
ring
he has
but $500,000 more.
But so you got to look at this guy. Probably has, with the way he does his shows and the way he pushes his guys and the way he pushes, his every event. You first of all, you're not buying a fight when you go to UFC. You're buying a brand.
Yeah.
Right. When you go, it's a crazy atmosphere. It's mad people. Everyone's screaming. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's loving, and everyone's loving what they see. And he puts on so many competitive fights on one card that you guaranteed to be entertained a few times that night, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you buying the entirety of the brand instead of buying one fight.
Okay. Are you going to transition your business into UFC, into MMA?
No. I'm not a big. I'm a fan of what his business model. I think, how he's done things and how him and if you look at even when like the WWE did the same thing. Like they make their guys into stars, right? Like I think in boxing a lot of times and a lot of guys and they look for guys who have a built-in fan base, right? Like you have to be like the perfect storm of, relatively good looking and outgoing and like, charismatic, and then also be talented. And like, I don't think that's promoting, right? Like you got to promote, a good promoter could turn, right? Like a good salesman could sell water to a fish, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, your job is not to be like, oh, he's Dominican, he don't sell, bro.
Yeah, no, I listen, I totally agree. It's lazy promoting for you to just promote based on the nationality or race of somebody. That's mad lazy. All right, he's Dominicans. Dominicans don't buy tickets. Well, who does? Who does? All right, well, let's figure out. All right, do the Mexican fans buy tickets? All right, then let's promote him to the Mexican fans. Like, why does
how many great athletes are not Dominican? How many great musicians are not Dominican? Do they not sell?
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying. So like clearly, if you put the money and time in behind these fighters, if they're performing to the level, that a guy like Elvis can perform, you can cross that. You can bridge that gap, yo.
Bro, I got you on the interview. I got you on camera, and this is something that I've been talking about on my page for a minute. Since I started this page, I've been talking about it. I want a Dominican Day Parade, the Eve of Dominican Day Parade fight in the United Palace. They're here in Washington Heights, and Elvis is a perfect prospect to put out as the headliner. You know why? He's from Lomina. You know who else from Lomina? Lapis, all these rappers. And you know damn well, if they see this young, talented kid, good-looking kid, they'll get behind them, they'll talk about it, and it'll be promoted, and it'll sell. But these promoters are not aware of the Dominican market, not aware of where to promote it, how to promote. Tying yourself to a party promoter from Washington Heights and saying, "Oh, after the fight."
But how about this? Why do I have to sell a Dominican to Dominicans?
No. I mean, if there's gonna be a patriotic pride, it's not bad to promote to your people, but you shouldn't be limited to that.
Exactly. Like that should not be your sole focus. Your sole focus is to get this guy as popular as possible and make sure everyone wants to tune in and see him.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that sentiment, but I also don't want to dismiss that boxing is very tribal. Like,
right.
Most Mexicans are going to root for Mexicans.
But let me ask you. I get that, and we all know that, right? There are clear lines in boxing when it comes to that. Yeah. But I think the fact that promoters also play to that
It's
you
too,
know,
they play to it too much, I think.
right? Right, but like, how come Dana White was able to bridge that gap? Like, how come like how come he has made guys who are from countries that nobody would ever support in boxing, some of the most popular athletes on the planet?
Yeah. No,
Right. So you can't just say that it's, that's not, because MMA is boxing. MMA is fighting, bro. Right. It's the same fan base. It's the same, but he just going about it a different way. He's not playing to that. He's not playing to that. So the more you play into that, the more that's what their expectations are. And so like, that's what you're creating for yourself.
I see what you're saying. So you wouldn't necessarily pound on the table for a fight on the Dominican Day Parade in
No.
United Palace because you trying to cross over like a Manny Pacquiao who
right
fought pretty much, fought in Dallas, fought in LA, fought in Vegas, and not because there's a lot of Filipinos there, just because he was a great fighter.
Right.
I
think if Elvis, and I think also a lot of these fighters, why a lot of them ultimately don't blow is because they become almost like pawns in the wars between promotional companies.
Elaborate on that.
So look, a lot of these guys go out and like sign a bunch of guys, but they don't have enough cards to put all those guys on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm signing guys because I don't want the other guy to sign them, right? And then if the guy isn't working out and whatever, or like with Elvis, or I want to squash him so that nobody else can use him and make money on him. I don't want other people to make money on him, right? So
strange.
They become like pawns in this in the wars,
lands,
right? And then like, this guy can't fight this guy, and these guys can't, and it's like, yo, what's happening here, bro? Why can't everybody just eat and that's it, yo? If you lose the title to another promoter, cool, you have another guy who can fight that guy now, yo. Like, it's like a money grab, yo. I got to get all of it over here and I got to squash everybody else, bro. And like, I don't think that's healthy, bro.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I don't like the whole.
I think Crawford was a, unfortunate,
Andrade and Devin Haney to a certain extent, not now, but Devin Haney to a certain extent was being frozen out. Just it's a lot of that cross the street shit is. But to be fair, I do think that's being a little bit more controlled now because we have been getting a lot of evenly matched fights, a lot of undisputed fights, unifications, and I do think that the sport is in a good space competitive wise. Like I feel like we've been getting a lot more competitive fights on a consistent basis than we have pretty much in any other time in boxing history. I'll match up this era in terms of number 1 versus number 3, number 1 versus number 2, number 1 versus number 4. I'll match this era up or just up against anybody. And we can look at the matches we've had just this year and we'll be impressed. Castano, Charlo,
but I don't know if I necessarily agree. Like you have Ryan Garcia going out here calling out a guy, Tank. Like why are you calling out Tank and Teofimo? Like what belts do they have?
I mean those are big money fights.
But what belts do they have? You saying that the only way you could prove yourself is to beat these two guys? What belts do they have? Why don't you call out the champ, yo? You know that's an easy fight to make.
Well, you saying Devin Haney?
I mean, why don't you call out a champion? Like they'll happily get in the ring and make that money, bro. Right? Like when have you ever seen in boxing history people get to a certain level and call out non-champions, bro?
I mean, the sport of boxing is more business than it is a sport, and the quicker us fans realize that, the less stress. But
why don't you go? Like my opinion, I think Ryan should have called out a champion at 140 if he wants to be at 140, or Devin Haney at 135. Get those belts, then make that Tank fight, bro. Right? Like why are you calling out that he don't have the belt in your why you worried about Tank, yo? Like, honestly, I think Mayweather said, why you worried about him, bro? Why all these people worried about Tank?
Yeah, because
If he ain't nobody, if he ain't got this, if he don't got that, yo, Mayweather said it perfectly. Let's stop mentioning his name, yo. If he, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think the way they look at it is he's making probably the most money at 135, right?
he's a star,
And
bro.
so Ryan Garcia is also very popular.
He's a star.
Has a total different fan base than Tank. Tank fans. I feel like Ryan Garcia's fans are much more younger, much more very different demographics. So you got two different fan bases combined. I think they're looking at it from the monetarily standpoint, and from a legacy standpoint. We've heard Ryan Garcia say he don't care about the belts. We've heard him say that out his mouth. He doesn't care about the belts.
We care about the belts. Elvis Rodriguez cares about the belts, yo. We want to make money, but Elvis cares about the belts. Elvis wants to be a world champion. Elvis wants to do whatever he got to do to get those belts. Elvis would love to make money. Elvis would love to fight Ryan Garcia. But, you know, Elvis would also love to be a world champion and make history, bro.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope you guys go to IBF route, because the IBF usually does the right thing in terms of ordering mandatories. So, but you guys got to get ranked in one of these sanctioning bodies. I'll be arguing that Elvis Rodriguez has a higher ceiling than Subriel Matias and all these other guys.
I would love that fight. I think that's a fan-friendly fight, bro.
Bro, on this channel, I bring up that fight pretty much once a week.
I want that fight. I asked that fight. I got the right guy on. Messages.
Oh, he cut out. I think he got a phone call.
Yeah, I just deaded it. I asked for that fight. I want that fight. I love that fight. I think it's great for the fans. I think it's great for Elvis.
You don't think it's too soon, in the sense, like, doesn't Elvis need a couple more tougher opponents before he gets to a Subriel Matias?
So he's
ready for it now.
You know, we got fast tracked, unfortunately or fortunately, because he's Dominican or whatever the whole thing is. So we got fast tracked. I didn't ask to get fast tracked. They fast tracked us. Cool, yo. I get it. You don't want to invest in a guy who, you know, you feel doesn't sell. Fine. So I think we're at like an odd crossroads here, where it's like, you know, if we can't really fight bums and fight down, and we're high enough that we need to like prove ourselves. And I feel like the only way that Elvis is really gonna get a shot is by getting one of those belts, yo.
Yeah, honestly, what makes sense to me right now for Elvis's next fight is Kenneth Sims, to be honest with you. That's a fight that makes too much sense. It's a fight you guys already got history. Kenneth Sims is a good fighter, so it's not like you're taking a step down. I would love that.
And I say it again, yo. If they make the
money was right,
again, it's not about like, so the I'm gonna just give you the name was floated out there, and it was paying less than half of what other guys were getting paid. So why would I take? And not only was it less than half, but the other fights were eliminators or got us ranked.
You saying the Kenneth Sims rematch was offered?
It was a name. No, it wasn't offered. It was a name floated out there. When they told me the how much we were getting paid and how much we would get paid, and the fact that it wouldn't really, I was like, yo, so it's more of like a moral victory at this point, yo.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right. So like, I'm not in this for moral victories, clearly, right? Because
let me ask you this: if the pay were, and I'm not going to ask you since it's it wasn't a done deal. If the pay was the same, whatever they offered you or not offered you, talked about, but it was on the Crawford Spence undercard, would you take it?
Crawford Spence, if the pay was the same
as you said that they brought up a number to you for the rematch for Kenneth Sims, but it was too low. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
If they go, all right, listen, we're gonna pay you that amount.
Wait, hold on. It was too low compared to
what others were getting paid.
No. What other fights were being offered? So we were getting paid a lot more for other fighters.
I see what you're saying. All right. I see what you're saying. But
right?
what do you
So,
think? What do you think of that? The rematch possibly being on a big fight on a big undercard
well,
like
that
that.
we were talking on being like an October card. So I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's that card or not, but
Any
you
names?
know,
Any names being floated? What are the names being floated around your way?
so it was Akhmedov, Lipinets,
Okay, I like that.
um, uh, Sims, but like I said, that was
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I think that was it.
You, what?
I
Listen,
think that
a
was it.
couple names I would like to see you. It would be Brandon Lee. That
Would
would be a
love that
good name.
fight. I would
Uh,
love that fight.
Yomar Alamo, the Puerto Rican. That's a good fight.
Who?
Uh, I'm trying to see who else. I'm right now. I'm on BoxRec. Will Madera, who's that would be a common opponent with Felix Verdejo, but he got slept in the first round
No, he
by him.
didn't.
But he's come back and with 2 wins and beat in his last fight beat a guy who's 19-1. So
You know,
this fight's for him at 140 where he can get his name up. But
that
go ahead.
Akhmedov fight was like I was dying for that fight because it was a title eliminator. It was good, and I thought it was a great fight.
Another fight is Cletus Selden. Cletus Selden is from New York, so the fight
Hmm.
could happen in New York, and there's Dominicans out here, and I'll promote the shit out of it. And I think Elvis sleeps him. I think Elvis knocks him out. Like, no disrespect to Cletus, but I just don't think he's at that level. And he's ranked, I think he's ranked number 9 in the WBA. So you beat him, you beating a ranked opponent.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I
Uh,
mean,
uh,
look, whatever floats our way. I think it's easier to make PBC fights with PBC fighters.
yeah.
So we got to just look at who PBC has and whoever they offer us. We're not turning guys down, bro. Like it is what it is. Like
It's
Elvis wants to win. Elvis wants to be world champion. Elvis wants to prove that these guys fucked up.
yeah.
You know, and that's what we're doing right now.
Is he using that as motivation when he's training? Like, yo, I'm a show top rank. They fucked up. Like,
Yeah, bro. Like I know he's not gonna say it. I think at this point, after the last two performances, we kind of turned the page and moved on, and it was what it was. And I said, look, we got to kind of just be appreciative that whatever we got out of that situation was what it was, and not let it impact.
not focus on the past. Yeah.
Right. And that's really where I'm at with it. Like I said, I'd love that Kenny Sims rematch at some point. I think Kenny's a great fight. I think Kenny deserves. I don't know why these guys, why these top guys don't fight him, bro. Like we fought him. We only had 11 fights, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I would love to see Kenneth Sims in with a tough match. He definitely earned it, beating a top prospect in Elvis. But again, a fight. This is on the PBC side. Brandon Lee versus Elvis Rodriguez is a hot fight, and
I'd love that fight.
Yeah, that's a fight that almost makes too much sense.
So somebody was on. Oh, he better not fight Brandon Lee. Yeah, all right, yo. All right.
Brandon Lee got power, but he don't got the
Yeah,
skills. He don't got the skills that Elvis got.
Look,
Elvis
we'll
got
see
too
what's
much
up,
movement.
yo. We'll fight Brandon. Yo, we're not in here. We'll fight Brandon Lee happily, yo. Now, the only thing I gotta say, yo, as long as these tough fights come and they make sense, like you can't offer us, for Matias or Brandon Lee or whatever, like, $70,000, $100,000. Like as long as it makes sense, and PBC's been doing right by that. I can't complain, bro. Like they doing they thing. Like we real happy with them, and Louis DeCuba is like doing an incredible job. You know, and I think ultimately we are where we ended up, where we needed to be. And things happened because they needed to go down that way. I think Elvis is much happier and much more positive in terms of his future and how he's being treated, and doesn't feel like he's getting the shaft. Whereas before it was kind of like, yo, I'm like the first year or so was kind of like, all right, this is cool, and then it kind of became like, yo, what do I got to do, bro?
Yeah. No, I mean, PBC, they got all the Dominicans. So they got Hector Luis Garcia, Puello, they got Carlos Adames, they got Michelle Rivera, Javier Fortuna. Who else they got? They
That's
got
another guy these guys played like that, Carlos Adames. And he's a
Carlos
good fighter, bro.
Adames. Yeah, he took one loss and they released him as well. We talked about it on my channel as well. I had him on.
Why didn't do that to Josue Vargas though?
When Josue Vargas got knocked out in the first round, and then you saw
90
his next
seconds,
fight.
bro.
You saw his next fight. He got knocked out by Dakota
so
Linger.
you got to see, you got the writings on the wall. I don't got to say nothing. Right?
Yo,
what do Carlos and Elvis have in common? Both of them have difficult managers. Is that what the right? Like, is that the commonality?
Yo, and I haven't heard any reports that Josue Vargas has gotten released. And I'm from New York, so I would have heard that. I haven't heard that. Have you?
I haven't heard nothing, bro. Like, I don't,
He may still be on Top Rank.
And even, look, it is what it is. You can't cry over fucking. You just got to do, work with what you got, live in your reality, and make the best of it, yo.
Yeah, he either way. I think that was a way of God putting him in a better position. He's making
100%
with PBC. He's
100%.
not being treated like a second-class citizen anymore.
100%.
He definitely, I feel, will have learned a lot from his from the performance against Sims, because again, you look at his next two performances it looks like he's on a mission. Like, he looks so focused and so ready. And that's one of the things that I felt, which my bad for cutting you off.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I felt in the Kenneth Sims, and it makes sense that you telling me about the whole situation with the baby and all that. It almost looked like he just wasn't focused. But in the next two fights, bro, it was like laser with those uppercuts and right hooks.
The girl kind of saw her way out of the situation after that, and like he just had like tunnel vision going right after the Kenneth Sims fight. He came back, he was like, I could see he was like down. And then when like we really got into training camp and we got the PBC deal, because we were being offered a few things, and we finally signed, it became like, bro, I got this, yo. Watch what's gonna happen right now.
Nah, real shit.
And like, like, it is what it is. I think we're like I said, I think PBC is doing a great job. Every promoter has their strengths and every promoter has their weaknesses. I think that like there's kind of like a popularity ceiling with Top Rank at the moment. Right? I think Top Rank is great at making champions, right? Like, they get you championship ready.
Like, Josh Taylor's was undisputed, but his name ain't really up there like that.
Right.
Same thing with with a bunch of Shakur. Like, he's a fantastic fighter. I would never dismiss, but he's not, a superstar. Who else they got out on that side? Yeah, you're right. Come to think about it, they haven't really been developing superstars lately.
Like, when you have Pacquiao and Cotto.
Yeah, I mean,
and then like
they got Fury right now, and Fury's
Fury theirs though?
No, he is. He's with him and Frank Warren.
Okay, so
I see what you're saying.
Kind of, right? Like, but who's Top Ranks that's like, oh wow, let's tune in, Like, it's not like they kind of, I think, you something that Golden Boy don't get a lot of credit for that. Like, Golden Boy has done a great job in making it guys, like what they did with Canelo, what they're doing with Ryan, what they, even with Virgil Ortiz, like, bro, like, it's very easy to like shit on them and make fun of them and whatever, but like, they don't get, the props they should get, bro.
No,
like,
you know what it is? Yo, Golden Boy cards, they undercards be good. It's entertaining. Their entrances be fire. Like, they really put on a show. When you go to a Golden Boy event, they put on a show. Problem is, and I'm not even making fun of him. Like, Oscar De La Hoya, he gets on Instagram and Twitter and be wilding out, and it does damage to the brand of Golden Boy. Like, me as a fighter, I wouldn't want to sign with Golden Boy, not because I think they're a bad promotional company. The proof is in the pudding, like you just said, what they did with Canelo, what they did with Ryan, what they're doing with Virgil, and they put Zulu in a position to now be a mandatory for Bivol. So they are a good promotional company, but I wouldn't want to be associated with Oscar De La Hoya at this point. After Devin Haney becomes undisputed, he goes, the most exciting fight in boxing is Tank versus Haney, as opposed to putting his fighter in that conversation.
Yeah, but what's wrong with keeping it real, bro? Ain't nothing wrong with keeping it real, yo.
No, it is when you promoter, you got to focus on your fighter. Why you promoting another man's fighter?
Yo, maybe he has a plan behind that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna knock him for that. I just think it becomes very easy, and I see what you're saying. But like, yo, they do a good job, and they get their guys out there, and you know, I think COVID hurt them a lot because they wasn't putting on shows. But I think they're really good at what they do. I think, you know, PBC is incredible. I thought the show that PBC did that we were on with Canelo and
Tim Tszyu?
what is it? No, Canelo and
Plant.
And Plant.
Yeah.
Wow, bro. Wow. Like, I haven't seen an event like that in a long time, bro.
Yeah,
like that was
organized, details and shit. Yeah,
bro, that was nuts, yo. That was nuts. Like, I have video of Elvis and how he was like mobbed by people and everybody there, and that was like out of this world, bro. Like, they did PBC really like, and I think PBC just, you know, they're good. I think they don't get the just dues either, bro. You know, and Charlo was a monster, bro.
He
just became undisputed. Like, bro, he's a bad boy.
That was a nice knockout. And you know, our Dominican brothers is an assistant trainer, Joan Guzman. Yep. So shout out to Joan Guzman for having a part in the undisputed win. But by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. I forgot. You have any other fighters that you manage, or
no? Right, you know, I think a lot of guys came at me during when we were doing whatever we were doing with Elvis. I like to focus on like the one guys, and I think I got like a real bad taste for things, yo, because, you know, I'm a straight shooter, and I like to do things the right way, and I keep it real, and I'm, you know, as long as you do right by me, I'm gonna do right by you always, yo. And like, you know, I that kind of just turned me off a little bit. I got like a lot of other things going on, and making paper other places, and you know, this at this point is something I love and I have fun with. But I'm making too much better other places to focus
your energy
solely on this, and especially when people, you got to do right by people, especially when you got dudes who do. I will always be straightforward, bro. I'm never gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna tell stories. I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. So I expect that to be reciprocated, yo. If you have a problem with me, yo, Ben, listen, I got a problem with you, son.
No, but you in position now with PBC. You seeing how they doing business. You like the way they going about their things. Why not?
Yeah, bro.
You know, stick over there. Bring another Dominican. Elvis Rodriguez. He was a Dominican.
I like him a lot. I actually tried
the middleweight.
I tried to get him.
Let's get him 50-50.
I like him, bro.
Let's get him 50-50. Let's get him 50-50.
I like him a lot, but I think he's with somebody, bro.
Nah, I think he's still an amateur.
No, but he's an amateur, but he signed a managerial deal with somebody.
Oh, okay.
But he's good, bro.
We both invest in him. I'll put it.
I like him.
Right? I like him a lot too. I like him. How he fought in the Olympics. And
you know, Michele Rivera could fight too, bro.
Yeah, I interviewed the Olympic boxing coach of the Dominican Republic. I interviewed him last week, and I asked him, "Yo, give me one amateur right now that you high on." And he told me, "Yo, the one I'm highest on is Elvis Rodriguez." He told me.
Bro, he could punch, bro, and he could take a punch. So
he goes to the body. Is real awkward too. I like his fighting style. I definitely think he's gonna make noise.
I offer him a good, you know, before everything with Kenny. I offer him a good deal. He didn't, you know, he chose not to take it.
Okay.
You know, I think he went somewhere else. I don't even think they gave him what I was offering him. But that's all right, yo. Like, he's a good fighter, bro. He's gonna be big, bro.
I hope so.
You know, and the other dude, the guy at that top rank, Keyshawn Davis, he's a little beast too, bro.
Yeah.
Keyshawn's a little beast, bro.
I actually saw him fight live on the undercard Lomachenko Comey. I saw him fight live, and he I mean, the guy he fought was a fucking welder or something. This dude, I don't know what.
But he can fight, bro. He can fight.
He impressed. He
can fight. You know, a lot of those guys can fight. Yo, I respect all. Barbosa's a good fighter. Like, there's a lot of guys out there who can fight, yo, especially at 140, bro. You know.
Now, what? Listen, the talent level from 135 to 140, particularly 140, is insane. It's absolutely
140 is nuts, bro.
It's nuts. I'm like, yo, all this talent is at one time.
It's weird that those guys are not so much more popular, because not only is the talent insane, I think they make for like really exciting fights, bro.
Yeah, and although Subriel Matias is in higher position than you guys in terms of
he's fun, bro. He's fun.
Yo, I went to his Instagram followers. He has like 5,000, 6,000. Yo, Elvis got over 100,000 followers.
Yeah, yeah.
And yet
We
they
got the
saying that
highest. We got
Dominicans,
the
they don't
highest.
know Dominicans.
We got the highest naturally organic following of all the Dominican fighters, yo.
No, and half of that is because I be pounding the I be going crazy on Twitter, letting people know, like, yo, this, like, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing, but I'm realistic. Like, if a dude ain't gonna win, I'll be like, yo, he ain't gonna win. Or if a dude ain't that good, I'll be like, yo, I don't think he's that good, but I'm gonna support because I'm Dominican. I've been saying the one prospect that y'all can hold me to, my hand to the fire, who's good, is Elvis Rodriguez.
Thank you, man.
And you saw me on the boxing voice, so it's not like I'm blowing smoke up your ass. Like, I'm trying to. This is how I genuinely feel. I think that guy is gonna be.
We appreciate that,
undisputed.
Man. We appreciate that, and I think, you know, he really appreciates that, and you know, I appreciate that. You know, you weren't one of these. You know, there's a lot of guys out there who were like these bandwagon guys. When we were winning, they were like, "Oh, let me get over there, let me get over there," and then the second the Kenny Singh shit was like, "Oh, fuck."
Nah.
Right. I think part of that had to do with how Top Rank handled it, and the other part was kind of like, "Hey, listen, he's not undefeated anymore. Fuck it, let's get out of
here." Yeah. Yo, where can I get some Elvis Rodriguez gear, man?
I'm actually gonna make some up now, and for this fight. So I'll let you know. I'll hit you up. I'll let you know where you can get it, and I'll send you some stuff, bro.
Yeah, please. I definitely want to support whatever it costs. I'll pay. I'm not one of these dudes asking for freebies. I'll pay. I want to support, man. I definitely want a couple shirts. I'll get one from for my homies.
Nah,
and shit.
I got you. Your question: who's your top 5 pound for pound, bro?
Right now, number 1, Naoya Inoue. I think that dude is an animal. Honestly, I don't think there's a close 2. Like, people want to say, oh, Crawford, Usyk. I'm like, nah. I think it's pretty clear how dominant Inoue is, how he's knocking people out in the first and second round. Like, how could you argue he's not number 1 pound for pound? So I think he's number 1. Number 2, I got Usyk. Number 3, and by the way, I'm thinking all of this off the cuff. Number 3, I'm gonna go Spence. Number 4, I'm gonna go Canelo. Number 5, I'm gonna go Crawford.
I disagree.
I
disagree.
No, listen, Crawford is a talented fighter, and I know that's where you may be going, but his resume just isn't up there for me to have him over these guys.
Honestly, I don't think much. For me personally, nothing really changed after Canelo lost. I still think Canelo's by far the number 1. The thing is that you can't base your you have to base your opinion on actual accomplishments.
Yeah.
Right? You can't, and his accomplishments dwarf everyone else's.
I agree.
Right? So, he could lose 3 times and he's still better than those guys, bro. He stepped up to a weight where he was smaller, he was shorter, where he gave up every advantage and he lost. Like, he's supposed to lose, yo. A month before that fight, somebody asked me, I said, "You're gonna lose that fight, bro."
I mean, but he was favored going in.
Yeah, but bro, like, I'll show you the text message. I'll show you the date of the text messages. And bro, a month before the fight, I said, "You're gonna lose that fight, bro."
No, but the thing is, I like, when I'm taking into consideration your pound for pound ranking, if you lose, I have to knock you down, whether you've moved up in weight or not. I have to take him down. Listen, I agree with you. If he would have beat Bivol, I would have still had him at number 1. But he took a loss, and he's not even out my top 5. He's my number 4, and he's going to fight Triple G, and then he's going to rematch Bivol. He has a chance. If he beats both those guys consecutively, he has a chance of bumping all those guys and being back to number 1 pound for pound. But I have to slide you down when you take that out. So he's your number 1. Who's your number 2?
Crawford.
Okay.
All right, because Crawford has accomplishments. I can tell you, right? So let me go with Canelo. I can tell you that Canelo was the best 54, 60, 65 pounder, 68 pounder out there. I can tell you that Crawford was the best, 35, 40 pounder. and he's one of the best 47. Can you tell me that Spence is the best 47?
He got more the belts,
but that's not the question.
He got a better resume.
Is he beyond the shadow of a doubt 100% the best 147?
No, he's not beyond the shadow.
So if he's not the best even in his class, that you cannot say beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's the best in his class, how is he 2 or 3 or 1? So I've seen people have him number 1 pound for pound. That's my opinion. I think if he beats Crawford, I'll give him the top spot.
Yeah, but this is his first division, and he hasn't
been there for a long time
due to circumstances.
He's been there for a long time, and he only fights once a year.
Yeah, I mean he had an accident. Then he
I
had
think
eye surgery. It's circumstances, bro.
I think he's incredibly talented, bro. Like I think he's a beast, bro. Don't get me wrong. I just think that he needs to be and one thing that Crawford has said a long time ago. I felt like, and this is my opinion, I felt that Spence needed Crawford. I didn't feel like Crawford needed Spence.
Monetarily, he needs him.
Right, but in terms of like
legacy,
all time, yeah, like I think
I disagree because when you look back at Crawford's resume, what's his best win? Postal, Gamboa, and no disrespect to those guys, and his resume isn't as bad sometimes as people want to make it out to be. But like
Crawford,
Burns, like
Crawford is a fucking animal, bro.
Has Crawford beaten the Hall of Famer?
No.
No, you see what I'm saying?
Well, I would have to really look into his resume.
Yeah,
but I think
to be fair, Spence, he's probably only beaten one guy who's debatable. I'm not saying he is Danny Garcia. He's debatable that he's a Hall of Famer.
I think Spence Crawford is the best fight you can make in boxing.
I agree. I think that fight, as well as Bivol Beterbiev, which isn't a big marquee fight in terms of monetarily, but in terms of in the ring, a skilled boxer versus a brawler who has 100% knockout ratio, I think those two fights are the best fights in boxing.
All right, so
and they're both undisputed.
Crawford versus Canelo. I mean, Crawford versus Spence is like, I have been waiting for that fight. Like, I can't wait. I think a lot of people favor Crawford. I'm not really sure. And again, like, even though I don't have Spence, in my top 3, or maybe even I'm not even sure top 5. Maybe I have him.
Let's go. Who's number 3? You got Canelo 1, Crawford 2. Who's your number 3 then?
Oof.
Usyk, Inoue, Spence.
I probably have Inoue number 4. I think.
So who you have number 3?
Actually, I probably put Bro, honestly, like, it's tough because I get that Usyk did what he did at Cruiser and then he beat Joshua, which is incredible. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that was incredible, bro. And I got to give that to him.
And he a gold medalist.
But, like, I think Fury doesn't get, Fury is a spectacular fighter, bro.
Yeah, but, like, he beat Wilder twice.
Right. Then I get it. I understand. So it's tough. I'd probably go Usyk just because he beat
Joshua.
So
then the
thing is that I can't put Fury, like, for me, like, one or the other are kind of in there. I don't like having like 2 guys in the same division, because then it's kind of like there's too many other guys.
Yeah. So he would be your number 3, and then
he'd be number 3. My number 4 would be Inoue.
And number 5,
he's a little more number 5. I'd have to like really.
Spence, you gonna leave Spence out? Jamel, you a fan of Jamel?
Oh yeah, Charlo.
That's Jamel is definitely worth being in the top 5 pound for pound. Very accomplished fighter.
Bro, he fights, bro. Dude fight. Like, he come to fight. He's fun. He risks, like, he sat in there with Castaño. He didn't need to, bro.
No. And what I liked about that performance is you can see the influence of Joan Guzman based off how his footwork was and how his defense was. He did a lot of like sneaky, crafty stuff that bothered Castano, and Castano couldn't necessarily set his punches as well, and which is why he got knocked out.
I think the only reason I put him above Spence is because he's clearly the best 154-pounder, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He has all the belts, and I think Spence. We gotta wait to see if this fight happens, and if he does that, we can give it to him, bro.
We'll find out.
If he beats Crawford, bro, I have him number one, bro.
Listen, I honestly, I don't. You're gonna have to do a lot for me to put you over Inoue, man. I think what Inoue's doing at 118 and what he did at the lower weight classes.
If Spence could beat Crawford, who is a phenomenal fighter,
he is.
That says a lot about Spence, bro.
But to me, Inoue right now is so clearly Inoue out of everybody in boxing is so clearly the best fighter in his division. I don't think anybody in their division is as clear the best as Inoue is. Who in their division you can say is as dominant, as clear the best fighter in his division, more so than Inoue? You can't even say that about Canelo, because some people say pick Benavidez. Some people pick
Canelo is the best in like two divisions and one of the best in a third. So that's not really fair, yo.
No, but you're going off career accomplishments. I'm going off right now.
Yeah, right, but you're talking about like over the last 2 years.
Who in their division is the best? Who in their division is the best? Who in their division is so clearly number one that it's not even a question if the number two guy could beat him? And that's Inoue. Inoue, he's getting first and second round knockouts. He just knocked out Donaire in second round.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
And it's not just him. He knocked out our Dominican brother Payano in one round. He knocked out the Puerto Rican guy Rodriguez in 2 rounds. He's doing this to top accomplished fighters, knocking them out quick and early. He's making them look like prospects. I'm like, yo, there's no way I can't have you number one. I have to have you number one.
I like Crawford better than him, bro. I just do, yo.
I can't see it. See, with Crawford, you can make the argument Spence is better. I'm not. Whether you think he is or not, you can make the argument that Spence is better.
Right, but Crawford has accomplishments, bro. Crawford has the accomplishments, and he has all the belts, and he did all the. You can't just discount that. It's like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Inoue got 3 belts, and the only belt that's missing is Paul Butler. You don't think he could?
How many belts has Crawford has? 7?
No, I'm talking about currently right now. He has
no,
1.
but I'm saying
you're talking about career accomplishments,
right? You got to go on based on accomplishments, right? Like you got to go on what you've actually done.
No, but you going off a career. I'm going off right now because if we're going off career,
right? But that
comes back. He's the most accomplished fighter.
No. But you talking about like accomplishments to date, right? That's what impacts where you land in. For me, I know a lot of guys say your accomplishments isn't everything. It's an eye test. It's this, it's that. But I think for me, like you have to take what they've actually done, not what they might do or what you feel they might do. What they've actually done, and like combine that with what they're doing right now.
See, you just focusing on the belts. All right, let's focus. Who has a better resume, Inoue or Crawford? See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
That's rough. Like we can't discount like the things that Crawford has done, bro.
No,
like,
I'm not. He was lineal, undisputed at 140. He gets full credit for that. He was lineal at 135, beat Gamboa, who at the time was a good fighter. He gets full credit for that. He beat Jeff Horn and got that belt, and he's a 3-division world champion. Inoue currently is a 3-belt unified champion who's gotten most of his knockouts so early and so uncompetitive that people are literally nicknamed him the monster. He is absolutely the best fighter in the boxing right now, in my opinion.
I think when you are able to prove your greatness over various weight classes, that has to have a significant impact over somebody who's just in one weight class.
No, Inoue's won multiple divisions. Let me hold on. I'm not sure if it was.
I think it's maybe 2.
I don't know. I'm gonna find out right now because I like finding out as opposed to guessing. Hold on 1 second. He is. My computer acting slow. All right. All right, he was the light flyweight champion, the super flyweight champion, and the bantamweight. So he's a 3-division world champion, and has and this is in this division. This is the first time he's been unified with 3 in bantamweight.
Okay.
So he's so he pretty much has the same accomplishments as Crawford, except he hasn't been undisputed. And the fight he's missing to get undisputed is Paul Butler, who he would absolutely destroy Paul Butler. That's easy work for Nui.
So, but what does that say about his competition then? Like versus Spence versus. So, look. Let's put this: if he fights Paul Butler and he becomes unified,
then they have the same exact accomplishments.
And Crawford
with the better
fights,
resume.
And Crawford or Spence, they fight each other. You still think whoever wins that, you would still pick Inoue over the winner of Crawford Spence?
See, off a body of work, I think I have to go Inoue, man. Inoue, listen, his resume run deep. And when these guys fight each other, it's competitive. Then when they fight Inoue, it's a blowout. It's like easy work. It's like child's play. I'm like, I don't know, man. If we going by eye test, we going by accomplishments. Inoue got both, and he's getting them out of there. He's not going to decision. The one guy that Crawford got, he just knocked out in the second round.
I think Crawford got both too. I think Spence will have both. I think I think a lot of people are discounting Spence.
I'm picking Spence to win that fight.
I think so too. Be honest with you, I know everybody thinks Crawford's gonna whoop his ass or whatever, but I have a feeling that Spence gonna win that fight, Yeah. And I think that he'll be my number one after that.
All right. But Benny, thank you so much for doing this,
man.
Bro. We got to do this more often. I felt we had a good connection. We had a good conversation. We definitely got to do this more often. What's up? I bet
for sure, man.
Yeah. Oh, matter of fact, since I got you on right now, so I had mentioned it earlier. I do a thing called the official scorecard so what I'll do is I'll watch the fight on my laptop, right? And I'll have the stream going, and we'll be talking. You'll be having the fight, like let's say on your laptop, and we'll have the stream going as well. And we'll rewatch a fight at the same time and rescore it, and then at the end discuss what we just saw. I want to do that with the Elvis Rodriguez fight. Me, you, Elvis. We rewatch the fight again. You have it on your laptop or something, and then the phone, like how we streaming right now, with the sound off, and we'll talk about the fight as it's going on and rescore it. If you can make that happen, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's do it. Bring Kenny on too.
You know what? Would you be willing? Would you be willing if I have?
Bro. I honestly, like, bro. I have nothing. We on that night we were on opposite ends of the thing, but like, Kenny conducted himself like a
gentleman.
A gentleman that night, and I got nothing. I don't got nothing bad to say about him at all. I think that Kenny and Elvis will make a great dance partners again. I think if we can make it mean something, for a belt or for something, then I think it'll be great, But I think I don't be hating on people. I don't ever wish nobody to fail, and I don't wish to see obviously if you're fighting my guy, I gotta go for my guy. But outside of when Kenny fights Elvis, I'm actually pulling for Kenny, I want Kenny to beat all of these guys, bro, and I want these guys to give him a chance, bro, because something, I think that will justify what I feel was a great performance. Was not Elvis's best performance, but what I feel was a winning performance on Elvis's. That will show wow, Elvis is really that dude, bro.
Yeah, now I see what you're saying. It'll devalue the loss in the sense all right, he lost, but he lost to Kenneth Sims. I see what you're saying.
Right, but I think I think he'll beat most of those guys out there. I don't think he'll beat Elvis in a rematch, but I think he'll beat a lot of guys out there, bro.
I totally agree. No, but for real, bro, you already got a way to contact me anytime you want to come on the show. Whether it be to talk, Elvis, or how we, basically how we just started talking pound for pound or anything like that. You hit me up, bro. I'll have you on the show anytime. And any other boxer, if you end up managing, we'll make the connection. I'll have them on the show and interview them, and that way, they get the notoriety they deserve.
That for sure, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Nah, for sure. We'll do it again, man. You don't worry about it. We'll do it again, and I'll hit you up about the official scorecard, rewatching the fight and all that.
I bet. Let's do that, man.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, safe.
All right. That was it. Peace, guys.